Good afternoon and welcome to the 330 Sports Show. My name is Justin Coffin. Today is July 20th, 2023. We are joined by two Youngstown State Lady Penguins down here at Youngstown Studio. So I'd like to welcome Mady and Dena down to the show. So I'm going to do a little intro of you guys both, and then we'll get into it. So Mady, I'm going to start with you. So number 0, you're still going with number 0 this year? Okay.
Yeah.
You are a fifth-year guard from Blackhawk High School in Beaver Falls, PA.
Yep.
Business digital marketing.
I just graduated with my MBA,
Okay.
so now I'm starting my master's in professional communications in the fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get into a little bit more of that. First team All-State as a senior, 2-time second team All-Pennsylvania, second leading scorer in high school history, and you had 14 assists, which is a school record in one game. A 2-time captain voted by your teammates, Horizon League all defensive team, and you usually take on the other team's best guard. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then president of the YSU Student Athlete Advisory Committee. We'll have you talk about that. And your brother is a member of the YSU cross country track team.
Yeah, he
So
actually.
so is that pretty cool to have your brother on campus with you?
He's like my best friend, so
Awesome.
he had quite a few other options that were a little cooler than Youngstown, Ohio, but
Okay.
he kind of chose Youngstown so we could stay close, which was nice. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. And Dena, also a fifth-year guard from Dunlow, West Virginia, and you attended St. Joe's Central Catholic and with Paige, correct?
Yes, for 3 years. Yes.
For 3 years. Okay. So you were a 4-year letter winner and 2-time team captain, 4-year All-State selection, pretty impressive, and 4-year All-State tournament team. You're a 2-time state champion and 1-time runner-up, and obviously you were on that West Virginia Thunder team with the 3 of your YSU teammates there, and also you transferred in from Tennessee Chattanooga,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So and you played 3 seasons there. So entering your 2nd season now at YSU. So welcome. I like to
Thank
do the
you.
intro for you guys so you guys don't have to do it and all that stuff, but very impressive resumes for you both. Dena, I want to start with you and ask you, the way I got in contact with you guys was at 304 camp, and I thought that was such a really great idea, giving back to your hometown, kids in your area, and I know that held like a special place when we talked to Emily and Paige last week. So tell us a little bit about that and what it benefited and all that stuff.
We just feel like a lot of kids from our area, especially West Virginia, it's so kind of secluded in some places. So we feel like that maybe some kids don't get the opportunity to meet us successful athletes at the Division I level, and we wanted to introduce them to us and like kind of get to know them. Also get our names out in the community as well, because we know what we are capable of and to benefit them as players and as students. And we feel like we were able to do that. We plan on doing it again next year, and donating the money to Special Olympics West Virginia. That meant a lot, specifically to me and Emily, because our master's is in special education. So, reaching back and giving back as well. We were able to complete both things at the same time.
So great. And it was probably fun to be on the opposite side, like actually doing the coaching instead of being coached up too. So that's great. That's great. All right. I'm gonna go with a similar list of questions that I threw at them last week, but I mixed in a bunch of different stuff this week for you two. But I want to start with like the numbers. I always want to know why people pick the numbers they do. Number 0 is not a number that like stands out a lot of times in a lot of sports, but why did you pick the number 0, Mady?
So it's actually a funny story. I was 3 all of high school, but before that I was number 1. Number 1 was like my favorite number. Going into high school, I was a 4-year starter, all of that, but everything at our high school was very much so seniority based. So picking jerseys, my freshman year, I was last pick and I got men's large shorts, and the only jersey that was left was number 3. So I kind of just got last choice.
Yeah.
And then coming into college, there was another freshman. She doesn't go here anymore, but she ended up being a really nice girl. But when I was looking at who was coming in, I noticed she was number 3 as well. And my mom was like, honestly, I don't think you could fight her for it. Like, I just think it's best you pick another number. So I was choosing between 0 and 24 because my dad was 24, like,
Okay.
all through college and everything. So I just ended up going with 0 because I thought my mom would always say, like, Agent Zero, and my favorite Disney movie is Hercules, and that
Okay.
song, Zero to Hero, I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
So it was kinda just like a fun. I don't see a lot of number zeros.
Yeah.
I just liked it.
I
So
like that. That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool to have. I think it's always cool to have like some sort of like little story or
Mhm.
reason behind it.
Yeah.
And how about number 10 for you?
So my mom played NAIA at Alice Lloyd. She was number 10. She was number 10 in high school as well, and I just decided to go after her. I've been playing since I was 4, so I've been number 10 since I was 4 years old.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I just never been anything else.
That's pretty cool though. Like you have like that's always your thing. So
Yeah.
like 10, you stick with it, and it's great. So I want to talk to you guys about the recruiting process. You've been here now. This is your 5th year,
Mhm.
but what, about an hour away, roughly?
Yeah,
About
like
45
45
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah. So
Yep.
fairly close. You're a little bit further away, but you also transferred in. So I want you guys, let's start with you, Mady, because you picked YSU from the get-go. So
Yeah.
what made you choose YSU?
Yeah, so I actually committed when I was 14. So I was
Wow.
really, really young. It was towards the middle of I guess I was like 15. It was towards the middle of my sophomore year.
Mhm.
I knew I wanted to stay super close to home.
Okay.
My closest options were here, and Kent State actually was my second choice.
Okay.
And when I visited Youngstown, I came for a football game. I had been offered,
Mhm.
and I remember we went to Longhorn and Boardman after, and
Okay.
my parents, I was talking to the coaches, and they weren't pressuring me in any way, but they were
Mhm.
kind of like, this is the amount of offers we have out. These are the point guards we've offered, all of that. And my parents were basically like, if you want to stay close to home, like you're saying you do, then
Yeah.
you need to make a decision and like grow up. And at the time I was
Sure.
like 15. I was
Yeah.
like, grow up? Like,
Yeah.
I
It's a
started
big life
crying. Yeah.
decision.
But yeah, I basically just chose it because I wanted to be close to home. And the team, when I met them, even though I was a lot younger and I wasn't going to play with a lot of those girls,
Yeah.
I felt like it was a group I could actually get along with. And I wasn't just, of course, you're going for the basketball and that's the main part, but you're spending a lot of time with these people. So
Yeah, right.
I wanted to feel like it was a group of girls that I could fit in with and be friends with. And I felt like that's what it was here. So yeah, it
Okay.
worked out really well. Obviously, I've loved it. I've been here
Mhm.
for 5 years. So
Yeah.
worked out for the
Okay.
best.
Yeah, and the transfer portal has really like opened things up now.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna get to Dena's story in a minute here with that. But I thought that was really cool how you said the coaches were just upfront with you, like, hey,
Mhm.
we have these offers out, like kind of take it or leave it. And
Yeah.
you jumped on it, and I think that's great.
Thank
So
you.
Dena, tell me a little bit about like choosing Tennessee Chattanooga and then spending 3 years there, and then how you ended up here in Youngstown.
Yeah, so when I picked Chattanooga, I was also very young. I was going on 15. And Jim Foster at Ohio State was
Mhm.
the head coach there at the time. And, my family are big Ohio State fans.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, you should that'd be interesting. Go play for him. Youngstown State was one of the schools that had offered me. They offered me going into my freshman year of high school.
Sure.
And, I really, I knew I always had a relationship with those coaches, especially knowing them for so many years. But I just felt like at the time, Jim Foster, his style of play, it really caught my eye. But he left actually and retired before I could get there. And I decided to stick it out those 3 years. Then my coach left the previous year. So that's why I really ended up coming to Youngstown, was because, I didn't have to kind of start over.
Mhm.
And Paige was already here. And when I committed, Shay came, Emily came, and it was just kind of like this big reunion. And I felt like, you develop relationships, and
Mhm.
I did not want to have to completely go somewhere and just feel like so vulnerable almost. And I wanted to go somewhere I knew that I would excel as a
Mhm.
person, a player, and also as a student. And I feel like Youngstown State would have been my next best choice. I love Chattanooga, amazing city. Like, I absolutely loved living there. It's honestly, I was telling Mady and the girls one day, I was like, if we all lived in Chattanooga, I was like, you wouldn't be able to keep us like outside. Like we would literally never be in our rooms. I feel like we would always
Mhm.
be. It's a tourist town. And
Yeah.
we're always goofy girls. We always love doing stuff. So, but it's a great town, great place. But in the end, I feel like I made the best choice for myself as
Mhm.
well. And just reuniting with Shay and Emily, and even the other girls. My roommates are not Shay and Emily, but those girls, I've built even bigger relationships with them than I had with them previous. So
Mhm.
I'm such great friends with my roommates as well.
That's awesome. And talking to them last week, I got this big sense of like family with all of you.
Yeah.
And I don't know who runs your guys' like social media stuff on YSU basketball, but it's really cool to see you guys interact, and you can really tell how close you all are. It does feel like a family environment. So can you speak to that at all? Just how close you guys are?
Yeah. I mean, so 2 years ago now, or almost 3, I guess, we had 7 girls leave and 10 transfer in.
Wow.
And that was a huge transition period. And that's when Paige came and Lily Ritz, like a lot of our other transfers we had before. And we had 5 freshmen, 5 transfers come in. So there was more people coming in that were left on the team. And I feel like once that happened, all those people left, and all those people left on good terms. And I'm still friends with a lot of them. But when that transition happened, I think a big emphasis from the coaches and then the leaders that we had left, Chelsea Olsen was still here and she was a really good leader. We just wanted to be a lot closer off the court and just, okay, win or lose, because we had no idea how we were going to be that year, even though it ended up being a really, really good year for us. We were like, let's just have fun and actually enjoy each other. And the year before that was COVID, so it was kind of miserable for everyone, playing a sport or not. So I think that like Chelsea Olsen staying that year and just being the kind of leader and older player that she was to all of us, just really kind of shifted the dynamic. And I feel like after that, just the girls we had and the big personalities we had, it was hard not to have so much fun and have like a family atmosphere, because you want to be close to everyone. So
that's great.
It's been really nice.
That's really great. What would be some advice you could give someone maybe going through that recruiting process now? Someone that's maybe entering their sophomore year of high school and, hey, I'm, pretty good at basketball. I'm starting to get some offers. I'm starting to get some letters in the mail. Coaches are starting to call. Like, what would be some good advice to, whether it's a boy, a girl, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, whatever it might be? What's some advice you could give someone for the recruiting process? Dena, you want to?
Yeah. I would say, since I went through it twice, I would say always ask questions. I think sometimes kids get carried away with, oh, I went on this visit and this visit and this visit, but how much knowledge and information did you really retain from those coaches? Because sometimes, if we're being honest, college coaches they don't always tell you the full truth. And I think a big thing for me is to get around the girls without the coaches around, because that's really how your life's really going to be. You're going to see the coaches 2 to 3 hours a day, sometimes maybe more if you're traveling, but I spend my time with the girls. That's it. They're my family. They live with me. I'm going to go in the kitchen. I'm going to see them. So but making sure that you fit in that aspect as well. I feel like that, I know a couple girls that's transferred a lot, and I think that maybe their first time around that they didn't ask enough questions, and really dig deep to see if this is what's right for me.
Okay. How about you, Mady?
Yeah, similar to Dena, I would just say, above all else, make sure you like the team and that the dynamic of the team, with or without the coaches, because like Dena said, that's who you spend your time with. And I'm glad, looking back, I didn't know how big of a decision I was making when I committed. Granted, I've been here for 5 years now, so it was a big decision, but looking back, I'm so glad I based my choice, even though we have great coaches, off of the girls and how I felt I fit in with the team, rather than, okay, is this where I'm going to play the most, or is this who has the nicest coach, or all of that, because coaches change all the time too, especially in women's college basketball. So I'm glad, looking back, that I looked at the team and was like, this is who I can fit in with and who I can grow as a person with and be happy off the court. Because if you're not happy off the court, and then being a Division I athlete is so hard, you're going to be miserable. So I'm glad I made my decision off of the girls.
That's great. That's great advice. Toughest part from going to high school basketball, even at a very high level, to college basketball?
Do you want to go first?
Oh, you got it.
Okay. I was just going to say speed. Like, I feel like in high school, because I'm smaller, I'm sure Dena can relate to this too, I felt like I was a lot faster than everyone, and that's how I could score a lot. But then I got to college, and it's like, okay, you're fast, but everyone is like just as fast, if not a little faster, especially when you're a freshman. Everyone's strong. And I realized how big of a role strength training and lifting and conditioning was going to play, because of course I lifted and conditioned and all that, but you don't have to be this super strong, sound player in high school. I mean, I played the 4 and sometimes the 5 on my high school team.
Oh, wow.
But the tallest girl was like 5'9". I'm 5'3".
Okay.
So 5'4", 5'5" on the roster. But so in high school, I thought I was more than adequate strength wise, all of that. And then you get to college and it's kind of just a reality check. Like, okay, I need to keep getting stronger and faster every year. So I'd say more on the court skills always come because the coaches are always working on that.
Sure.
But conditioning and strength training, that was a big adjustment for me.
I'll go with like the school aspect since you talked about basketball, but like, I mean, just knowing time management. I feel like a lot of kids coming into college and they're just used to doing their work in class when it goes on. That's not the case. And I think that it wasn't necessarily something I struggled with, but I would wait until the day of, like, stuff to do usually like 11:59 for us college students. So they kind of like instead of doing it in the middle of the day, I would wait till about 7 or 8 o'clock at night, which don't give you a lot of time. So I think understanding that you have to make time to do that on your own.
Sure.
And nobody is going to hold your hand and say, here, do this. And, not everything is handed to you as well, whether that's going and getting your groceries or, making doctor's appointments. I mean, of course, the school does that for us, but it's up to you to ask, and I think that was the biggest thing for me was recognizing that my mom isn't here to do some of these things for me.
Right.
But I think we all, especially here at Youngstown State on our teams, especially like we developed into strong women because of this.
No, that's great. And I think a lot of people forget that you guys are student athletes, class, like student comes first and a whole, your time management, like you said, has to be on point because classes, traveling, just living your life too, like you said, just getting food or whatever it might be, is pretty big. And when you're 18, 19, 20, whatever it might be, you have to figure that out fast, especially when, you can't just drive. A lot of YSU students come from Poland or Boardman or Austintown or whatever. And you guys don't have that home base, like where you can just take a real quick trip home or whatever. So, but it's good, you guys. It sounds like you've really developed a chemistry with each other, which is great. All right, so let's get into a little bit of both of your games, and I just want to know, give me what you think you guys are best at, like your strongest part of your game, and give me something you'd like to work on for your incoming 5th season this year. You want to start?
Sure. I'd say like intangible wise, probably like communication. I love to talk. And then tangible wise, my defense, I'd say, is my strong suit. What I can work on more, honestly, I can work on everything more, but
just as everyone can.
Yeah.
So.
Probably like just being more ready to shoot, a bit more aggressive on offense.
Sure.
Coach Barnes is really good about wanting everyone to shoot all the time. And that's just being ready to shoot. I feel like I could always be better at that.
And I think the thing I love about your guys' style of play is you guys are bombs away. There's a lot of three, just outside shooting, and it's a lot of fun up tempo. So that's great. Dena, how about you?
Well, me and Mady are actually opposites, like complete opposites, but it's great to have both of us on the team because I feel like it does complement really well. Me, I need to work on defense. Obviously, at Chattanooga, I played zone for 3 years and even in high school. So we're a man-to-man up-tempo team. And I think, especially when I came in last year, not everything was a habit, like jumping to the ball, etc. But, I feel like later on in the year, it all came back to me, if you know what I mean. But I think one of my strong points is I am a scoring point guard. I like to drive, attack, and kick. I distribute a lot. Just depends on the game. If I need to score, he'll tell me. If I need to distribute more and we got somebody hot, like we have so many shooters, like you said, on our team, it's our job to find them. So we always take into that role, both of us actually. And I would say I worked on in the beginning of the year where I was kind of transitioning into the team. I did not communicate as much. And I feel like this year that's something that I'm really going to work on. I've been trying to help Mady at that point in practice. I feel like I was quiet a lot last year. And us as a team, we discussed about it, especially as older girls, talking more, helping her out in that aspect. And I think so far this year we've been doing a great job. And we just need to continue to do that.
Sounds like you two should just stick together with like practices and stuff, like take what you're really good at and take what you want to work on and put them together. It sounds like that's perfect. So, and I'm glad you guys both mentioned communication. I think that is so undervalued and such an intangible thing, like you said, because really, and when Malia was here too, she said the biggest difference for her, I think, was going from high school to college was defense. And like, everyone's just better. Everyone can score. Everyone can play. But I'm glad you mentioned the communication aspect because that's important for every facet of basketball. All right. Here is a rando basketball question for you guys both.
Oh, goodness.
If you could play a game of horse against any living person, man, female, NBA player, celebrity, whoever, who would you pick and why?
Like just so we can meet them, or like just so
both. You're just BSing while you're shooting around. So yeah, so it could be literally anyone.
You can probably tell by my accent that I'm very country, and I've always wanted to meet Alan Jackson. So I want to play against Alan Jackson. If I had to be a basketball person, it would definitely be Steve Nash.
Okay.
I'd met him once, but it was like many years ago. Like I was young.
Okay.
But I would like to talk to him again. It would be cool.
But you're pretty confident you could beat Alan Jackson at a game of horse. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Non-basketball, Taylor Swift for sure, and I
Okay.
hope I would beat her. And then basketball-wise, I have a few. I love Skylar Diggins.
Okay.
I think she's out. She's pregnant right now in the
Okay.
WNBA. Maya Moore was my favorite when I was younger, and Sabrina Ionescu.
Oh,
I don't think I could beat her.
Well, I just saw it,
but
like her and like Steph Curry. I saw just like have this thing with a three. Like she just
she
I think
demolished
she made, like,
the 3-point record.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good choices. All right, now I want to talk to you both about NIL stuff. I think is it Open Doors? Is that what it's called? You guys, it's like on most of your guys' profiles at YSU, most of the men's profiles at YSU, and it's NIL's become a thing really over the last 2 years, really. And I know you and Paige especially are big advocates for YSU because you went down to this conference. So let's start with you on what did you learn at that conference? Like, and you're like the president of the athletes kind of for like representation.
Yeah.
So like talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so first of all, it was extremely cool. Youngstown sent 3 athletes. They paid for everything. It was awesome. I'd say my favorite thing about the conference was I think there was like 600 student athletes there. Wow. And what I loved seeing was that I feel like a lot of times when you think of NIL, you think of these Power 5 best player on the team getting all these huge NIL deals. Yeah. And actually 2 of the athletes who won awards at that conference, one was a Division III walk-on who has over 30 partnerships and is starting his own foundation to help people with NIL and all that. And then another football player was actually from Lake Erie College.
Okay.
He won an award and they're both doing amazingly well with NIL. So just being at that conference and seeing a woman said a quote there and she was like, you'll never be criticized by someone who's doing more than you. So sometimes I feel like kids get embarrassed like posting brands or reaching out to partnerships, different things like that. But in doing all that and meeting a lot of people who were like-minded, like me and Paige, and just very driven in the NIL space, it made me feel a little more like this is a really cool thing and I should really take advantage of it. And there's no reason to feel any type of shame in like going after all this stuff while I have the chance to take advantage of it. So we got to listen to there was a Lululemon sponsored I think Olympic runner there. Her name was Colleen Quigley. So listening to there was a lot of strong women there who talked a lot about NIL and what it means to be a woman in NIL because you are licensing yourself. And it's hard sometimes as a woman, deciphering between do they want you because you're a good athlete and you're a good advocate for this, or is it because of just your looks and kind of what they want to do with that. So listening to other women talk about that was really nice. But yeah, we got to listen to like a whole day worth of panels and meet just a bunch of really cool athletes. So it was
That's
really
great.
cool. Yeah.
That's great. So has it affected either of you like since your college career? Like, and I asked Emily and Paige this last week, but do you reach out to them? Do they reach out to you? How does that work? Whoever wants to jump in on that one.
I mean, it could be both. Me, like personally, like I'm not as big into it as Mady and them. I don't know, I'm not a social like media queen, but like you learn that you can be yourself. I think that's a big thing. Like you build your own, what would you say, theme?
Like personal brand.
Sure,
Me, I'm very country, so my NLs are all with like fishing teams. I have one with Lunker Hunt right now, and they're big in the South. So, and then Mady, and she has a like WWE thing or whatever. So I feel like we're able to distinguish ourselves from other people, and I think that's a big thing.
That's awesome. And I like that you're like representing yourself. You're, like you said,
Yeah.
you're branding yourself with, you might as well endorse stuff you like, you know? So you have to, somebody messaged me like right before, and she said, you're having Mady on. You got to ask her about the WWE thing. And I'm like, I don't know anything about it from what I saw, except a little news clip. So what is that?
So, their NIL program, they call it Next in Line. So they also call it their NIL program. So basically they've reached out to me last summer now. So about a year ago, actually, this time. They DM'd me through Instagram. I thought it was a spam account. I thought it was fake.
Right.
And they were basically like, can we set up a Skype call with you? We'd like to talk about our Next in Line program.
Okay.
Whatever. So we got onto the Skype call. The guy I talked to was actually all the way in Australia. So we had to kind of coordinate a time to meet, which was really cool. And he just asked me a bunch of questions. He was asking me about my major and my interests after college. So I was thinking the partnership would eventually lead to me working with them in a businessy type of way, not being a wrestler.
Okay.
Granted, I have no experience in wrestling. So he was like, well, I'm so glad. It sounds like you're so eager to be like a wrestler after this, because some kids aren't as into that. And I was like, oh yeah, like that sounds awesome. At the time, I didn't realize that's what it was getting into. But yeah, so I waited, I think 3 months after that. They got back to me in about September. And they were like, can we have a quick call with you? Like, we chose you as one of the, I think there's only like 30 some in the country, which I thought it was cool that someone from Youngstown in general, or a mid-major, because a lot of the athletes I've seen are like the Cavender twins, who are super famous now, or there's a track thrower from Tennessee who has like millions of followers on Instagram. So for them to reach out to me, I thought that was really cool of them to try to get a mid-major and vice versa. So yeah, they talked to me a little bit about the partnership, and then there's no strings attached. Like, I don't have to wrestle if I don't want to, but I think I would be stupid not to take that chance, because it's kind of a straight funnel. They want athletes coming in to be wrestlers. Obviously, you have a better chance of being successful. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna try it.
So we may like, I'm not a person that watches wrestling. Like I watched it. I've watched it here and there, but is that something we may see in a couple years, you in the ring? Or
so actually, I'm pretty sure the tryout date would be like June 3rd through around the 3rd, 4th, 5th next year. So I'm going to try out for sure. I can say that now, because I just feel like if I was given this opportunity, I would seem selfish or just not appreciative to do it. So I'm gonna try it, and worst comes to worst, I would really like to work with them in some capacity, even if it's now getting this communications degree, maybe trying to do something in that. So I just think opening that door and seeing what happens. I mean, I'll be fresh off a 5-year basketball career, so I hope I still have some athleticism left to maybe wrestle a bit. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try it. But.
Okay, no, that's great. So do either of you, something you're not branded with now, do either of you have a dream endorsement that, like, oh, I'd love for this? You don't have to say the name, but it could be a product or something like that. But if you want to say the name, you can. Do you have a dream endorsement deal?
Mine's like Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops. Like, I'm doing like small like lure companies right now that they sell in the South, but like I haven't fully gotten to that point yet. So.
My favorite picture that like is on your thing is like the American flag when you're wearing the cowboy boots and stuff. I mean, like, seriously, embrace that brand and go with it. If you can get them, get them. So how about you?
I think mine would be, I saw Angel Reese got a deal with Coach, and she was able to give every single one of her teammates a purse, like a new purse, which I don't know if all my teammates would love that, but
yeah.
So I would love like a deal with like Coach or some sort of like designer purse brand. I think that would be awesome.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's clip that and shoot it out and see what happens. Okay. But I like how like with the WWE Next in Line, NIL makes sense. And like things like that basketball camp and stuff, even like 3 years ago, that would have probably been an NCAA violation. Now
for sure.
It's totally legal and totally great. And you guys should be rewarded, because I mean, the school can't pay you. So I mean, everyone will say, well, your scholarship's your pay. It's like, well, yeah, but the hours that you guys put in, the time you put in the classroom. You know, I'm glad you guys are being compensated, let's just say, for that.
Thank you.
Let's get into some basketball other stuff. So some on the court, off the court stuff. Pre-game routine or ritual either of you have, or do you?
Like what we do before a game, or like when we walk on the court?
Could be any, well, not as a team, individually. So like, is there anything that stands out to you as like,
I always got a shower.
Okay.
I like take a pre-shower, and
Okay.
I always gotta turn on Amarillo Bob Morning by George Strait. So
Okay. All right.
that's always my song.
Okay. All right.
Me and Dena are extremely opposite.
Yeah,
I'm learning
you
more
can't
from this
tell.
conversation.
Yeah, you can't tell.
Like-
But it's good. It's complimenting each other. See, I normally go to Starbucks and get a small coffee of some sort.
Okay.
And then I actually do like some hair and makeup for the games. Like my mom always said when I was little, like, look good, feel good, play good. So
okay.
I love to do my hair and like make myself feel some type of good way about myself before getting to the gym. So I can't lay down or anything. I'm way too anxious for any of that. So I can't like nap or lay down. But
Okay.
I distract myself by doing like my hair and my makeup.
Okay.
So.
All right. No, that's good. That's good. And it's probably nervous energy, like
Mhm.
getting it out and,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Now, you mentioned that. Tell me the name of the song again.
Amarillo Bob Morning.
Okay. Would that be like, you know, in baseball, there's walkout song for like the batter that's coming up to the plate. Would that be your walk-up song?
I don't know. I kind of so our coach at Chattanooga, we could like have our AirPods in because I would get there early.
Mhm.
And then I would take them out obviously when we warmed up as team, but like we don't really do that much here. So I feel like it just became like my song for me. So now I just listen to it as I'm walking in the gym
Okay.
versus like when I'm warming up like by myself. So.
Okay. All right. What would your walkout song or walk-up song be?
I have two extremely different ones.
Okay.
The first one would probably be Three-Headed Goat by Lil Durk. That's just like I heard it actually 2 years ago for the first time during warm-ups, and I had no idea what the song was.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that.
Mhm.
And it just became one of my staples. Or probably Ours by Taylor Swift. It's not a pump-up song by any means,
Sure.
but there's a line in it that my mom always says to me just about like not worrying.
Okay.
So that just has like some sentimental value to me. But
Okay.
yeah, one of those songs.
I'm noticing all these basketball players love Taylor Swift. So, favorite basketball moment? It could be when you were 5. It could be the last game you played. What would your favorite basketball memory or moment be? Dena?
So in 8th grade, I don't know if you remember Gabby Lapardis. She used to play at YSU. If you're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So me and
Mhm.
Gabby were on the same AU team
Was
as
she
well.
a point guard too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the shooter then. She was our point guard.
Okay.
And we won AAU national championship in Cincinnati. Actually, they had it there that
Mhm.
year. And we had been working for that for a long time, and it just meant a lot because I played AAU for so long.
Yeah.
I played 2nd grade all the way to like 10th
Jeez.
grade for the same team. So it was something I always wanted, and I was glad it happened.
Mhm.
I hit a game-winning shot at Chattanooga as well to win our regular season conference title.
Wow. Okay.
As a freshman, it was like nerve-wracking. I'm like, oh my God, they're throwing me the ball. And I was
Yeah.
like, but I got to shoot it. So, but it was great. Both of those would probably be my top.
Do you remember who it was against?
Furman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. How about yours?
Team-wise, mine's probably 2 years ago. We were at UIC, and if we won that game, we won a share of the conference title.
Okay.
And I just remember right after, we kind of didn't know because I think we had thought if we won the game before, we were winning it, and we lost that game before.
Sure.
So the clock was winding down. There was 1 second left. And I remember Coach Barnes going up to one of the girls next to me, and he shook their shoulders and was like, we just won the conference.
That's
and we were all
awesome.
just like, and then we got into the locker room, and we had water ready to throw on the coaches, but they came in like guns a-blazing with water, like squirt. one girl got hit in the face completely. And there's a video, and you can hear the one freshman is recording, and she's laughing, literally pure joy. And it's just like so sweet. So that was really, really fun. Individually, I'd say my freshman year, we had like a big rival in conference in high school.
Okay.
And I had no idea what the score was or the time was. This sounds so bad. I shot a layup, I made it. It was the game-winning shot. I didn't know
wow.
at the time. And my coach wasn't a really like lovey type of guy. Like he was
Yeah.
more like matter of fact.
Mhm.
And he picked me up and like threw me in the air. And it was really fun.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you guys have a favorite sports movie? It doesn't have to be basketball.
Trying to think.
Hoosiers.
Okay.
I like Hoosiers. That's one of my top ones, or like the Rocky movies. You gotta
Okay.
love Rocky.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Do you have a
Yeah.
favorite Rocky out of the 5 of them? 5 doesn't even
Honestly,
count. 5 was terrible.
Yeah, yeah, that was even the Apollo ones. I'm like, no. Probably the first one is just like your original.
Okay.
You know, you gotta go with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going back on that Rocky 4. I think that stands out. It's so good. So good. Do you have a favorite sports movie?
I like Southpaw, the boxing movie.
Yeah. Okay.
That one made me cry a lot.
Okay.
So I liked the new, is it Creed movies too, with Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah,
I love
those are
him.
really good.
So watching those,
Mhm.
I loved those too.
Yeah.
But
Okay. All right. How about favorite place you've ever played? Whether it's AAU, high school, college. Do you have a favorite arena or gym or anything like that? Can't be YSU.
I would say college-wise,
Mhm.
my freshman year, we played, I think it was my freshman year, we played at Indiana when they were ranked 14th in the country.
Okay.
And like their fans and the atmosphere, especially for them playing a mid-major early in the year, it was crazy. And we were actually winning by 1 at halftime.
Oh, nice.
So it was
Okay.
just like a really, really fun place to be. But AAU, I loved. We used to go to this tournament in Washington, D.C., and the venue for the courts was inside the hotel.
Oh,
And that's like
nice.
the one tournament my dad could always come to. So I just feel
Mhm.
like I have really good memories.
So they
of
put it
that.
in like a ballroom and lay down the
It
floor?
wasn't even a ballroom. It was more like an event center connected
Okay.
to the hotel. And we
Mhm.
literally came down the elevator from our room. You walked, there was like a Starbucks and all this stuff. I think it was like an Embassy Suites type hotel.
Okay.
And then all the courts were in there. You didn't have to leave.
Maybe
So
that's
it was
where your
super nice.
love for your pregame drink came from right there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You have a favorite arena?
We played at NC State my sophomore year, I believe. We played like at Tennessee too, but I had COVID during the time, so I didn't get to. But I've played in that arena at other times, and I really like the Tennessee Vault atmosphere. You know how they are. Those Tennessee fans.
Mhm.
They can get a little mean, but I liked playing there. It was a great experience as well.
Okay.
I would say high school, like just down the road, there's the Eastern Ohio basketball camp, the outdoor court atmosphere.
The
That's
Huggins
crazy.
camp. Yep. Mhm.
That is so crazy. I loved playing there when I was younger. Like
That was
different.
like that. Like you're playing outdoors sometimes. You're playing under the little pavilions. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Are either of you trash talkers?
I am not. I actually do my best to try and compliment the player that I'm playing against, because I'm like, you know what? Sometimes though, like a lot of times it's worked for me, because if I'm like, oh, you have a really pretty smile, or like you have really pretty eyes, they're so caught off guard, throws them off a bit. And then sometimes they don't want to go as hard against me, because they're like, okay, that girl's being nice.
Oh, a
like,
little reverse psychology.
I met one of the girls that is a really good player in our league. I met her when I was in the city where her school is, and she told me, she was like, that really threw me off. She was like, I don't even want to say I hate playing against you, because you were so nice, but it did make me hate playing against you. So it's like reverse psychology.
Yeah, I like it. How about you? Are you one?
If I get mad, maybe, but not like, for the most part, no. If we're in practice, like I have a relationship with him now, like I will sometimes, if I'm just trying to be funny, like I'll say something and pick up and stuff, but not really.
You can usually pick up vibes off of people when they come here, and just meeting you two, I'm like, I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So, is there a basketball rule you wish you could change? Any rule in basketball? And you could just say no if there's nothing you can think of, but
I wish it was a 4-point circle. Like they do at the overtime thing. I feel like they should put that in.
Good answer from a shooter.
Yeah, that is cool. I'm trying to think.
Now, go ahead.
Sorry, I can't remember if it's. I was just talking about this with one of my teammates the other day, but I think it's there's no like 5-second call or something anymore on like in college and high school there was a lot, or at least they don't call it as much in college, and I wish that was more strictly enforced, or that they had it in college, because
especially with the way you play.
Our defense is to pressure and be up, so it's really tiring to pressure and be up if you don't get a reward for it. So I wish that was.
And I think it's kind of cool, and I think the men's game should go to this. Men are still in halves. You guys play quarters. I think that's actually
weird.
I think it's better though.
I like the
personally.
quarters
I think the quarters are better.
It's just
my
weird
opinion.
that they're not the same either.
It really is, and I don't understand why, but I like it. I like the quarter aspect better. All right, I asked Paige and Emily this last week, and every basketball player or coach I have down here. I ask them the same question. Would you rather lose by 30 or lose at the buzzer? So would you rather get completely blown out, don't have a chance, whatever, it's just not your day, or you're in the game, it's back and forth, and then boom, the other team either hits a shot or you don't make a shot to lose?
For me, it would be at the buzzer, even though it would hurt worse because I wouldn't see it coming. I think at the buzzer because I know I did almost everything I can to win.
Okay.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
I agree, especially with our playing style and the way we're coached and everything. I think they would they always say, as long as you leave it all out there,
Mhm.
win or lose, it's fine. I think if
Okay.
you're losing by 30, you probably didn't leave it all out there.
No.
So I'd rather not
Okay.
have that. And
All
we've
right.
experienced it actually both ways. So
Yeah.
the one
I
is
mean,
better.
Me
Yeah.
as a coach too, I've been on both sides of that, good and bad. And yeah, it's always interesting to hear what people say because there's a lot of different ways you could take that answer. But
Mhm.
I think out of you guys both have like a very positive mindset. I think that would be what I would expect. Have you ever had any random fan encounters, good or bad?
I've had a
Take it.
few bad ones. I feel like as NIL has progressed more, and Youngstown is really, really good about NIL. I got to go to like a Horizon League student athlete
Sure.
conference, and I've realized compared to other schools, specifically within the Horizon League, Youngstown takes full advantage of NIL. And with
Mhm.
that, I think they try to protect us a lot too because your face is out there more now. And I've had a few weird encounters with fans. But actually, I was out like two weekends ago. I was out at a restaurant, and a girl asked me for a picture, and a boy asked me for a signature. And I was like, that I was
Yeah.
really taken aback by
Yeah.
that. Obviously, we're in Youngstown, so I think you're a little more well known when you play around here,
Sure.
obviously. But I thought that was really cool. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that's
something
cool.
that I wouldn't expect to happen.
That
so
is cool. And
yeah.
I think the popularity of the women's game has really grown over the last few years because I was telling them last weekend with the Final Four this year, I think the women's was way better than the men's.
I agree.
And like more entertaining, more competitive, just stuff like that. But you guys are really on the front lines with that. Like you're out there with NIL deals. You're playing these competitive games. You're in good conference games, stuff like that. So that's credit to you guys. How about you? Do you have any those Tennessee fans? You had
Well,
COVID,
yeah,
you said. So
yeah. Still, we played Alabama, so I had
Okay.
to kind of watch
That's
still
cool.
what I was doing,
yeah.
especially like the football games. But for me in high school, especially too, but also when I go home, I'm from a small town.
Mhm.
Like I told you before we started, there's like 680 people maybe in my hometown, especially since people started moving, and I can be out like at our only gas station in the town,
Mhm.
and people ask to take pictures of me and sign stuff, and I don't even really know who they are, even though there's not that many people in the town.
Mhm.
And it's really taken back by me because I think I don't realize how much people look up to me as they do.
Mhm.
Even like the 304 camp we had, most
Yeah.
of every kid there really came from my town, especially. Not even really like Emily and Shay. Their towns were far away, so most
Mhm.
of them were people who knew me and Paige, but the kids were so excited to meet us, and I did not realize. My mom even told me the other day I take for granted how much people look up to me, and I plan on giving back to my hometown in some way at some point, and I'm really grateful to have that opportunity.
That's fantastic too, because
Yeah.
really when you're thinking about it, like I have a 4-year-old daughter and she, she's not super into basketball yet, but we watched your guys one of your last home games, and I'm just like, who do you want to win? She's like, the red team. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but like she's already like looking up to
Mhm.
athletes like you guys, and I think that's so good because you guys both are great representatives of YSU. So
Thank you.
keep doing what you're doing. Hobbies outside of basketball.
I work a remote job. It was an internship turned remote job, and it works perfectly for me because my boss played baseball at Youngstown.
Okay.
So all of my hours are worked around basketball. I never have to miss basketball for it, which is perfect for me. My dream job is to be a medical device sales rep, and it's in the pharmacy realm.
Yeah.
It's a PBA, a pharmacy benefit manager
Okay.
type company. So I like to work. I like to do my homework. I like to have my planner. Like
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
feel like our whole team is very intelligent. So a lot of us put school first. But I feel like when I'm at school, I like to just have my stuff done, hang out with
Mhm.
the team. And when we don't have to be at school, I like to travel. So
Okay.
traveling and getting out. But
And
yeah.
you could do that medical sales job after your WWE
Yeah.
done.
I was
So,
talking to my
after
dad
you
about that
retire from the
yesterday.
ring.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
For me, obviously fishing. I like to go hunting as
Mhm.
well. I love spending time with the team as well. I feel like last year when I first came in, I kind of like didn't really know everyone other than Emily and Shay, so I kind of was a little laid back, a little reserved. I kind of hid in my room for the first few weeks.
Yeah.
But after I got here, I kind of more like started integrating into the team, and I really enjoyed it. Me and my fiance, we like to he has a business on the side.
Okay.
And I like to help him run that right now. We can have jobs, but it's really not something that he recommends.
Sure.
But where we're both getting our masters, like he doesn't mind it as much because we don't have in-person classes. So I train kids on the side right now in basketball. So
Nice. So I mean, basketball, classes,
Yeah.
other jobs,
Mhm.
NIL. You guys are pretty busy. So
Yeah.
no, that's good. How about do you have a favorite sport outside of basketball?
I love to watch a good like women's volleyball game
Okay.
or a good specifically college football game. I don't really like watching the NFL.
Mhm.
But my brother went to Alabama just for school. He wasn't on the football team, but so I'm a big Alabama fan for
Yeah,
football. So
that's
that's
fine.
fun to
That's
watch for
fine.
me. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good.
For me, it's football because I played like a year and a half when I was younger.
Mhm.
So I kind of actually like it a lot. I wish there was like, I mean, I know there's like women's football league, but that's not something I'm ever going to do. I'm too little for that. But I like watching it. My family's big on that. And we don't have many sports where I'm from, maybe like 6 at my local high school. So
Okay.
football is the big sport.
Okay. I think it's like the 2028 Olympics. Like flag football is becoming an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
And I think
That's
both
fun.
male and female.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You could look into
you'll
it.
still have some athletic ability in like, a couple years from now. So why not?
Maybe.
Future plans for you both. Like, so business, education, where do you want to take that? Like, and I know that's a tough question to answer right now, but I guess maybe, not specific goals, but goals for the future.
I have really specific goals.
Okay, no, go with it.
So I obviously want to try out for the WWE. If that
Mhm.
doesn't work out, I also like sometimes work with an insurance agency, and I
Mhm.
want to become a licensed insurance agent. So I think either licensed insurance agent and have like my own agency where I really want to be my own boss.
Okay.
I'm pretty bossy, honestly, maybe, but I just like I like the idea of being
guards
my own
have to
boss.
be the
And we do,
bosses.
yeah.
You guys have to.
And if I don't do that, I'd love to just be a medical device sales rep
Yeah.
and travel and be based in Pittsburgh. I love where I'm from, or honestly, I love Nashville and I love
Mhm.
Columbus. So one of those cities and just be able to travel for work. And I just don't want to be in an office 9 to 5. So
Yeah,
being able to
right.
talk to people and do all that, I would love. So
When you get to the WWE, you can tell them your real estate thing.
yeah.
And just say, I'm going to sell insurance on that mat when I'm pinning people.
Seriously, I'm like, I was
That'd be a
saying
good,
to
like,
my dad, I'd love
tagline
to
or-
do if I do end up making the WWE, I'd love to still have some sort of business job on the
Yeah.
side, so I don't lose that. So when I'm done, I can go into that because I want to
Absolutely.
work honestly for a long time because
Yeah,
I like
no
to
doubt.
work. So
No, that's
yeah.
great. That's great. And I'm guessing teaching, but
Yeah. So for me, I'll be moving to Tennessee. I'm getting married in May, so I'll move
congratulations.
down there.
Okay.
Thank you. Probably like end of May after we get married. I'm gonna
Okay.
move back to Tennessee. We have a house about an hour southeast of Memphis called Savannah. It's on Pickwick Lake. So I'll be moving there, starting my teaching career. But like with the hiring process and everything and the teacher's license, I don't know how it's gonna work with
Mhm.
Ohio and Tennessee. So as of right now, like I'm going to apply, but I won't get my master's until May. And by then might be done with the hiring process. So I will be getting my real estate license as well.
Okay.
Just as a backup, but training kids and coaching also is what I plan
I
on
will
doing on the
say
side.
Ohio is one of the harder academic, high up. So you will probably have reciprocity in Tennessee. So you'll probably be able to take that Ohio license and go right into that. All right, let me ask some questions about some of your teammates. Well, you're going to give me some information about your teammates. So, most athletic person on your team.
I'd say Shay.
Shay.
Yeah.
Shay.
Haley's pretty athletic too.
Yeah.
Okay. Funniest.
Our team is funny and everyone's weird. So
To me, Jen, just
Okay.
because she's just like, you never know what's going to come out of her mouth.
I'd say Mackenzie heard, like, you never
Oh,
know what's
yeah.
going to come out of her mouth.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she's
Okay.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Smartest. They said you last
Yeah.
week.
How
I would say
sweet.
you, Maddie.
Thank you, Dena. Well, our team is really smart.
But you
like,
can't pick yourself. So
Oh, I wasn't going
Okay.
to. I'm trying to think. My new roommate, Abby Leiber, is an accounting major, and she gets her stuff done. Like, she's very
Okay.
so she's pretty smart. Yeah.
Okay. And you guys as a whole have a great GPA.
We
I
do,
saw,
yeah.
and, like it's pretty impressive because again, the student athlete. Friendliest.
Again, everyone is very polite and friendly.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't it be funny if there was like, oh yeah, there's only one nice girl on the team?
we're like, actually, everyone's really mean. Paige is really friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll talk to anyone. She'll talk to
Mhm.
the wall. So.
Okay. And toughest, whether that's on the court or off.
Megan's not here anymore.
Yeah.
That's hard.
That is hard. I'd say,
I feel like Haley's tough. Like,
yeah,
I've never
Shay and
seen her-
Haley are
Yeah.
Okay.
really, like, if they get knocked down, they're gonna get back up and not
Okay.
complain, I'd say. So yeah.
What do you guys want people to know about the YSU Lady Penguins heading into 2023, 2024? That still sounds so weird,
It does.
2024. But what do you guys want to know about your team, like your style of play, that kind of stuff? So sell us on the team this year.
I'd say we're a lot faster than we were last year and a lot more evenly balanced.
Mhm.
So I think you'll see a lot of things from people you didn't see last year, just like more opportunities for more people to score and all that. And I also think we have 6 fifth-year seniors, which is
Wow.
crazy, and that's a big number. So I think I can speak for all the seniors when we have a kind of chip on our shoulder that we want to go out on a really
Mhm.
good note and we want to do it together and for each other. So I think it's going to be special to see if we can accomplish what we want to accomplish. Then it's going to be really cool because there's 6 of us leaving. So
Yeah, right.
it will be fun.
Right.
Yeah, I think like having the 6 seniors, I think it's something that hopefully Youngstown will be able to remember, especially the women's basketball program. I feel like we have the work ethic this year that like Maddie said, the chip on our shoulder. We're getting in the gym a lot more than we used to. We have like this competition going on, like to get 10K by August 10th of extra shots up, like, and pretty much all of us are doing it. And I think that we have just like that chip, like that we're going to go out with a bang, pretty much.
That's awesome. Yeah. And a lot of, coaches or players will tell you the players are made in the off season, teams come together during the season. So that's fantastic. You guys are doing that. And I'm glad, you guys mentioned that about like coming together 5th year, because you guys in the men's team have been really good the last couple of years. So it's really cool because Youngstown's known as a football town, but it's really cool to see really good, high quality basketball played on both the men's and the women's side. And both of you guys are doing a great job. Before I get to trivia, mention where people can, get in touch with you on social media, or maybe if they want to do an open endorse or whatever it might be. So whoever wants to take it first.
The specialist can take that on.
Okay. All right.
Like my specific things or
whatever you want. Yeah.
Well, my username on everything is just Mady Aulbach, my name. But we all have open doors profiles linked on our roster online, and that's for every player. And I think people think of NIL deals as like you have to pay $1,000 to this player.
Sure.
You could pay one of us $20 to give you a shout out or a signature, or if it's your son or daughter's birthday, like saying happy birthday. So, and any player can do that, and it's all linked on our website team roster. So, yeah. Easy like that.
All right. So just basically go to the YSU basketball page, find your guys' profiles on there.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think just letting people know that don't be afraid to like want to do those things. It's not like something that's not common anymore. I think that it's starting to be very common. Something as simple as like sending a signature or something like that. I think people, I feel like they tend to hesitate to do something like that just because we're not actually technically like famous people or something. So we're also humans too, and we want anything to just see a smile on a kid's face. I think that means a lot to us, and we
No
would
doubt.
be more than willing to do it.
No doubt. Okay. All right, trivia. Mady, I'm going to start with 3 for you. Dena, I'm going to get 3 for you, and
Oh,
then we're going
goodness.
to mix them up a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go Beaver Falls trivia.
Oh gosh. The thing is, I don't even live in Beaver Falls anymore. My family moved to Slippery Rock. So like
Okay.
I haven't been there in
Well,
like 4 years. But
Based on the knowledge that I know, we're going with Beaver Falls
Okay,
trivia,
okay.
and we'll see how you do. Most of these are, well, we'll just see.
Okay.
So Beaver Falls is known for being the hometown of this legendary professional football player. He played for the New York Jets, the LA Rams. He won Super Bowl III, and he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Okay, I know of 2 famous football players. Joe Namath.
That's
it?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know where he went to college?
Pitt or no?
Alabama.
Oh, Alabama.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're tying that in. All right, we're giving you 1 for 1. Who was the other one you were going to say?
Revis.
Oh,
Like
Jarrell
that.
Rivas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
He's going to the Hall of Fame this year, I think.
Okay.
So-
His I think nephew played with my younger brother for AAU.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think that was Dwayne Rivas. So we
Okay.
kind of just knew him through that. But
Nice.
yeah.
All right. Instead of firing them all at you, we're going to just go back and
Okay.
forth. That'll be better. All right. So, Dena, Chattanooga question.
Oh no!
This prominent mountain ridge is located just south of Chattanooga.
Lookout Mountain.
Lookout Mountain. Very
Yes.
good. All right.
I loved going up there. So pretty.
Mady, let's see. This college is located in Beaver Falls, PA.
Oh, Geneva.
Very good. 2
That
for 2.
my house was up the hill from Geneva.
Okay.
So very
I always
close.
thought Geneva College was literally like Geneva on the Lake up in
Yeah,
Ohio.
no,
but-
it's right
there
just
you go.
smack in the middle of Beaver Falls.
Okay. All right, Dena. Chattanooga is famously known for this 3-word title song, blank, blank, blank. It was written by Matt Gordon and Harry Warren in 1941 and made popular by the Glenn Miller Orchestra. It does have the word Chattanooga
I know.
in the name.
Is it My Home Chattanooga? I
It
know
is
we
not.
would sing
Nope.
it after the games, and we would have to like stay in here with the cheerleaders while we're all sweating, go back and forth and sing it. Oh my goodness!
Now I
don't know.
could be wrong, but it says the Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Oh,
You know that one? Okay.
You
All
know
right.
that one?
So
No.
I feel like I've heard it. It's like one of those songs. Like 1941. That's like 90 years ago.
Well, there's
Or 80
still
years
the
ago.
Chattanooga like choo choo like train station there, and it's a hotel now, and you like stay in the cars and stuff. But I don't know if that's the song that I was thinking of that we played after. the
Okay.
games.
It probably
There
was.
There was a song that we would have to hold, and I was like, "Just get me out of here." I wanna go
Being
Lockwood.
in your early 20s and this being a 1941 song, we'll let that one slide. We can't give you credit for it though.
It's okay.
All right, Mady. Beaver Falls was the birthplace of the retail giant, the founder of this retail department store chain. So, you will know the name big
Mhm.
time.
Department store.
Big department store, like
Macy's.
not Macy's.
I don't know.
J.C. Penney,
Okay, that makes a bit of sense because
James Cash
there's so
Penney.
many of those around yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So J.C.
my grandma
Man,
worked there. So
We missed our last 2 questions. Just saying. But J.C. Penney, I had no idea. So
I
like
didn't-
right down the road.
now that you say that, it makes sense
So-
because I feel like when I go further away, I don't see a lot of JC
and,
Penney's.
and I didn't know this. I looked them
Yeah.
up beforehand. So all right. And Dena, last specific Chattanooga one. Chattanooga is known for its association with blank, a popular American confection, like a treat, I guess you would call it. In 1917, the first blank blank was made in the city, and now Chattanooga celebrates it with an annual
Is it
festival.
a drink or a candy bar?
It's like a candy
candy.
or like a
There's a big Coca-Cola factory, so I was about to say that. Oh my goodness, I should know this.
it's
I'm looking at the factory.
something in the sky that would be in the name.
I don't know.
The moon pie.
Moon pie. Oh yeah. Moon pie.
So
I was looking at the factory sign that you go by.
Okay.
I couldn't think of the name of it.
now I'm giving you guys such random
no, yeah.
questions. So
No, this is
like
bringing back.
but like
me
Beaver
and my
Falls trivia and Tennessee Chattanooga, not my like forte here. So
Yeah.
so I had to
Pretty
get like
random
deep
places.
in the wheelhouse here. All right, YSU questions. And both of you can answer these or bounce them off each other. What is the name of YSU's student-run newspaper?
The Jam Bar.
Yep. The Jam Bar. Very good.
I know that.
What are the names of the 2 YSU Penguin mascots?
Oh,
Pete and Penny.
Penny.
Yeah.
Pete and Penny. Very good.
We love them.
Youngstown was known for producing this metal for many years.
Steel.
Steel. Yep.
There's a new
That's where, like,
place
what's that?
outside the mall. There's a
Yeah.
new sign that says like this city was built on or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was
became a
funny
whole
because I always
thing.
think of Pittsburgh to be the
Yeah.
steel
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
So
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Youngstown were
Yeah.
kind of big wheelhouses of that. This is the main park's name in Youngstown.
Can we guess?
Mhm.
Mill Creek.
Yeah.
Mill
Very
Creek.
good. Mill Creek Park.
I go
Yep.
I was
fishing
like, is
there.
it
Uh-huh.
that?
I like
And
fishing there.
I asked the girls this last week about West Virginia. You already have 2 of the answers, so you know it's PA, you know it's West Virginia. But how many states border Ohio?
Border Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia, PA.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This
It's 3.
No. Oh
Well,
my.
You're not geography major, so it's
No. Is it?
Michigan.
yep.
Oh, okay.
One more.
It's like up on the corner, right?
You're where you live is close to it.
Kentucky?
Kentucky.
Is it?
Oh,
I was gonna
yeah.
say
Kentucky.
Kentucky. I said
You said
Kentucky,
it.
but I was like, I don't know.
Michigan to the northwest, Pennsylvania to the east, West Virginia to the southeast,
know that, 'cause I
Kentucky
drive
and
through.
Indiana to the west. So not bad. All right. Now, last trivia one. This is tough. But you guys have either been or played all of these teams. There are 11 members in the Horizon League, including Youngstown State. So we're going to take YSU out. So that
Mhm.
leaves 10 members. Can you name them all?
Detroit Mercy,
Milwaukee,
Milwaukee, Green Bay.
Oakland.
Wait, go slower. Close.
Okay, you got Oakland.
All right.
And then Cleveland State,
Okay.
Wright State,
Yep.
Robert Morris.
Robert Morris,
Yep.
Northern Kentucky,
Yep.
IUPUI,
Yep.
IPFW.
Which I didn't know.
Yeah,
Are
them
they
and
new?
Robert Morris 3 years ago both
Okay.
joined.
Okay. You said
How many do we have left?
You have, unless I forgot one, I think you have 3 left. 3 left. One is in Ohio.
Cleveland State, Wright State.
Wright State. You might have
okay.
said Wright
Yeah.
State. Okay. And then I have,
I've only been
you
here
might
for
already
6
said
months.
it.
Northern Kentucky. Did
You
you
said
know?
that. One's the Panthers and one's the Phoenix.
Oh, she said Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
Milwaukee.
Yep.
Okay.
And Green Bay. Yeah.
And Green Bay. Got them all. Okay. Very good. All right. So, last thing before we close out, you guys kind of gave your pitch already for YSU hoops, but what's like a good closing message for you guys? Like, what are you working on right now? What are your goals for your team this year?
I think the big goal is always to win a championship.
Mhm.
But I think right now, and Coach Barnes always says, like, just take it day by day, focus on the little things.
Love that. Yeah.
And if you have one bad practice or one bad day, it's just that day or that
Mhm.
practice, and don't let it turn into something else. So I think for us, a big thing, like Dena said, is our work ethic and just focusing on being in the gym more, controlling
Mhm.
what we can control. And we're not going to be the most athletic. We might not be the most talented, but we're going to outwork every
Mhm.
team. I feel like that's what we're going to focus on a lot this year.
Love it.
Yeah, like controlling the controllables. Like she said, making sure that we are doing everything we can to be successful this year. And I think leaving everything out on the floor each game. I
Mhm.
think there was times last year where we knew we were good and we relaxed, and we cannot relax this year. We're going to play with the chip on our shoulder, like we talked about, and never just letting up. If we're beating a
Mhm.
team by 30, all right, we're going to beat you by 40, even if there's 2 minutes left. That
Love
type
it.
of attitude.
Love it.
Mhm.
I love it. Great advice, not just on the basketball court, but in life. Take it day by day. So
Yeah.
I want to thank Dena. I want to thank Mady. I wish you guys all the best of luck. You guys are killing it. Keep it up. And we wish you guys all the best this year. So good luck and go Penguins.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thanks for having
Thank you.
us.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. If you like our programming, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook page, or subscribe to your favorite podcast platform like iTunes or Spotify. This is original Youngstown content,